Servus, Freunde. My name's Jimmy Cage. Buddy, what are you reading?
Nothing. Jimmy.
Yes?
Kameraaraja.
Shroff.
Shroff? Or Jackie
Shroff.
What?
Servus, Freunde. My name's Jimmy Cage.
And I'm Deniz, the Buddymeister.
We have reviewed almost 500 Indian movies on the channel, and once a month, all of our awesome supporters can take part in a poll. The last poll was all about Tamil crime movies, and yeah, the one that has been on our watch list for ages has won the poll. The movie is titled Aaranya Kaandam, and it's a 2010 Tamil language gangster film, the feature-length debut written and directed by Thiagarajan, Kumararaja.
Nice.
Yes,
Nailed it.
We already watched and reviewed one of his films. I think he only did 2 movies and I think TV series, something
I don't know.
like that.
We've seen Super Deluxe.
Yeah, Super Deluxe, we've seen that one. This one had its premiere at the South Asian International Film Festival, where it won the Grand Jury Award for Best Film, and apparently the movie wasn't even finished at that point.
Okay.
So no color grading, no musical score, and yet it won the prize, which I think is very interesting. Then it had its regular theatrical release in 2011, received critical acclaim by critics, but underperformed at the box office. But ever since then, it became a cult film in Tamil cinema. Unfortunately, it's also a film that's very hard to find. We only had a version that was once again in very subpar image quality, but it was okay. So, Buddymeister, what's the movie all about? Who is in it? And what did you think about it?
Yeah, the movie is starring Jackie Shroff, Ravi Krishna, Sampad Raj, Jasmine Ponappa, Guru Somasundaram, and Master Vasant.
Yes, child actor.
Yeah, this movie is, some people say it's like the first neo-noir film in Tamil cinema.
I don't know about that. Be. I mean, we watched, for example, Pudupetai with Dhanush. That's older than this one.
Yeah.
And I would definitely call that a neo-noir as well. And even Mani Ratnam's Naya Khan, I would even call that one a neo-noir because it's a movie Godfather-like. I mean,
I don't know. Well, we come to the other movies that I was reminded of when I watched this movie. But what's the movie about? The story revolves around the lives of many different characters on, I think it's one single day. I'm not sure, but maybe it's 2 days, but it's supposed to be one single day, maybe. We have a mob boss who is dealing with a lost bag of cocaine, a renegade henchman on the run, an impoverished father and his little son, a woman who is more or less enslaved by the mob boss, another henchman who is doing all the donkey work, and all kinds of sinister-looking goons that are also after the cocaine. So, a lot is going on there. Yeah. And, well, first off, this movie reminded me of Pulp Fiction.
Tarantino in general.
It also reminded me a little bit of Traffic, Goodfellas, a little bit of The Godfather, also Japanese Yakuza movies. Yeah. And but it also reminded me of Johnny Gadar. Yeah. And also a little bit of...
Which one is older?
Johnny Gadar is older. It's like 2007 or 8. And Bada Chennai and Pudupetai, also both movies that have these classic gangster movie tropes of when the movie starts, gangsters sitting around just shooting the shit, talking about sex and murder and some mythic gangster who killed everybody and all this stuff. But I like that stuff. Yeah. So it also reminded me of The Sopranos or something also. And well, I wish I would have loved this movie more. I thought it was I thought it was fine. Okay. But it didn't really catch on with me, to be honest.
Okay, that's fine. I think I like the first half really a lot because I like the introductions of all these characters a lot. I think this movie is really doing a terrific job in creating this dense, dark
that's one of its
movie
strengths,
atmosphere because the camera work by who is the camera work by P.S. Vinod is pretty fantastic. The score by Yuvan Shankar Raja is also pretty good, I think. There are no songs in this one, only background music. And the performances and also the dialogue. I think for me all these things really clicked in the first half. In the second half, for me, it lost a little bit of steam. It fizzles a little bit out. It was a little bit complicated, but I mean, I don't understand Tamil, so I had to read the subtitles. I think otherwise it's probably not that complicated. But I was thinking, okay, who are these gangsters? Where is the cocaine right now? Where's the money? So, but for a debut film and overall, I like the movie quite a bit.
I mean, I agree with all like the positives that you just mentioned, because like one of the things that I really liked about this movie is this atmosphere, which is like this gangster milieu. It feels dirty, it feels raw and gross in some kind of way,
Sweaty.
Especially because of the characters, especially because of Aya, the gangster boss, Jackie Shroff. He's like this weird guy who dances around naked or like does this grinning thing with his teeth and smiling, and of course his like his dark voice.
Was his first film in Tamil.
Okay. He's kind of the characters. The characters are quite well written in this movie.
They're also
and like
very memorable.
The whole build-up of this gangster world works really well, especially like I said, the beginning where they all sit together and talk about how I seduced this girl.
I thought that was a great scene, and with that scene, I immediately thought about Quentin Tarantino, because these guys are talking about movies and movie stars, and the dialogue was well written. The language in general is a special ingredient here, because I mean, we only had the subtitles, but there's a lot of swearing in there, and the language is very direct, very raw. The movie itself is very raw, and it has a cool vibe. It's not super fast paced or anything, but it has a cool vibe. And also one of my favorite scenes in the whole movie was the scene in which they are driving to some other place, and it starts very casually telling something about a phone.
That scene is really great.
And in that scene, we get a twist, and I thought it was really well done how we got to that.
That's true.
It was a really cool scene. Like I said, I like the introduction of these characters. My favorite character probably is this down on his luck guy with his son. He's played by Guru Somasundaram. And he I don't know, gambled everything away, and now he only has his son and cockfighting. And I thought his performance is really great, and I really liked the dynamic between the two of them, because at times seemed like the son is in charge, like he's the father figure, because his own father has really no grip on life. And he, played by Master Vasant, I thought he was pretty great, and I liked everything with them in the first half. In the second half, I don't think he has a good ending. Not that I don't mean a happy end, but like the last scene of the two of them was, they deserved more, I thought, because their bond was so special in the first half. Also, I not laughed, but I really liked the sweet and a little bit goofy love affair between Subu and Sapai.
Sapai, which means loser, I guess. Loser was the subtitle. Sapai, I don't know.
Probably means loser. And I thought the movie is a little bit heightened. It's grounded, it's gritty, but also a little bit heightened. And their performances, there was a little quirk there, and the scene where he has to dress up really fast because someone's at the door. I don't know. The movie definitely has a comedic edge to it. Also with, like you already said, with our main bad guy, with Jackie Shroff. There's definitely a comedic edge to this one. And I just had a pretty good time with it.
The thing is about this storyline, I mean, that the storyline, especially the storyline of Subu and Sapai, is like a little bit annoying at times, because like it's this thing that is like between comedy and drama, that's switching very fast, where I just thought, man, all this whining and all this stuff, like I know these two people are like only used in their life and all that, but it's like they're just it's just too much for me.
Okay.
I mean, with the father and the son, it's almost too much, but it was alright because they were two very sympathetic characters, and like you said,
the
very
actors
interesting.
Are also better. The performances are better.
Yeah, exactly, and like a very interesting dynamic, like you said, because like the son is like the boss, but he also needs this father figure by his side, and when the father like gives him his hand, he also wants it. It's like it's a very nice dynamic between those two, but I think. I mean, the movie. We can like separate the movie in. There's a story with Pasupati, played by Sampatraj, and the cocaine, and then there's the story of Subbu and Sapai, and there's the story of the father and the son, because all that gangster stuff almost happens only in the storyline with Pasupati and this cocaine bag. And I think all these things work quite nicely because the characters, like I said, are well written. But I think the switch from one storyline to the next is like a little bit wooden, because when Pasupati like disappears for the first time, there's this scene where they hunt him down, and he escapes from the police, and then he's like gone for 20 minutes. Then we change to the storyline with the father and the son and the cockfighting, and then we get back to Pasupati, and he's just standing somewhere and like doing again where he left off. It's like this. It's a little bit choppy.
It's a little bit rough around the edges for sure.
I mean, I know that this is a debut movie, and debut movies tend to be like a little bit more rough around the edges, but it's still like the flow wasn't there sometimes.
I thought so too about the second half. And like you said, the relationship between Sapai and Subbu, for me it worked in the beginning, but I have to say, once they are on the run and think about what they want to do, I thought it was the chemistry wasn't really working, and it was a little bit like for me the least interesting part of the film. Later, we don't have to give it away. Later there is a reveal that makes you think, okay, that was because of that, and then it works better. But that reveal would have been stronger if I really felt more between the two of them.
Absolutely.
And also, maybe it's a nitpick, but there's this little segment with the video game on the phone that's really, for me, it was really terrible. Because he has something on his phone, like a video game,
like a jump and run
like
game,
like a platformer with the Super Mario music, but it's about the two of them, and for me that was completely breaking the immersion, because it was so off-putting, it was so unrealistic,
so whimsical, and then it doesn't fit
it doesn't fit the
rest of the movie.
Exactly.
It feels like first time director wants to try some different things, wants to try different genres, put some whimsical stuff into it. And this is like...
That was an element that didn't work for me. And there are some other stylistic choices that are hit and miss. I think some of it is also probably because of the budget. This was probably super low budget. And therefore they also have to rely on CGI for blood effects and stuff like that, which is always kind of a bummer, but it's understandable. And... I think in the second half, what I was missing was more of an emotional punch towards the end. I mean, it's a gangster film, and even something like Pulp Fiction, you aren't that involved in the emotions. But still, this one, it was nice, but it wasn't like I was on the edge of my seat or anything.
I think you need some kind of character that you can really root for. Even in Pulp Fiction, you're like on Butch's side somehow. He's played by Bruce Willis. You somehow want him to get away and get the bad guys. But in this one, we are kind of supposed to be on Pasupati's side. But for me, he wasn't enough in this movie.
And he doesn't also his wife wasn't enough.
And he doesn't have like the agency to that. I think get those guys and become the new boss. And like I don't know if it's like I didn't feel that much for him. Maybe I felt the most, like we said, for the father and the son. But then again, their storyline kind of fizzles out.
And also the brutality towards the father, it doesn't really feel that justified. There's one scene that's so extreme, and I thought, man, this poor guy really doesn't deserve this. And
before you say anything, we watched the uncut version.
We watched the uncut version. He doesn't deserve this, and there's not enough of a payoff for him that you think, he went through hell, but now this and that. I mean, you
just don't feel that much for these characters, because like the movie is maybe more interested in the style than in really telling us something emotional that these characters are going through.
Yeah, maybe you need a little bit more about every character, but then again, I also enjoyed that this movie is just 2 hours and like 5 minutes or so, so it's pretty short for an Indian film, especially for a movie with a big ensemble.
Yeah.
So that's one of the positives for me as well, that it's not that long.
It's true. I mean, it's not getting boring or anything.
Yeah.
It's just it almost doesn't feel like it has those typical lengths where you think, oh, come on. But it's fine in that way.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not going to talk about spoilers here, I guess.
I mean, we could.
Yeah, but when we don't.
If you have anything meaningful to add.
Yeah, I mean, meaningful to add is just the movie's going into two revelations, twists at the end. One you already like hinted at, but there's another one shortly before or during like the final fight scene, and I always think it's an odd choice if like the movie does this flashback thing where one character plans everything out that he tells you that he planned everything out, and then you see scenes that haven't been in the movie to explain, oh, that happened, but it's like you get flashback scenes, but those scenes weren't in the movie.
I'm not sure if I know what kind of scenes you mean, but
yeah, but I'm always like, what? When did this happen? So how am I supposed to get what this person meant? It's just not possible because
which character is it?
Pasupati. He tells everybody about his crazy plan, how he got the gangsters to fight the other gangsters and all this stuff. And then you see some flashback scenes.
Okay.
But those scenes, you couldn't have watched it because they weren't in the movie. I was thinking, when did this happen?
Yeah, but I mean, in Reservoir Dogs, isn't it that different when we see Mr. Orange and what he was all about?
Yeah, but that does work differently because
I mean the whole movie works differently because it's told not in a chronological way, and this one is
be that as it may. Yeah. I thought that like this twist ending revelation twist didn't like really fit the movie.
Okay.
I just thought, just tell me a good gangster story, don't make that twist again in the end. And well, I didn't like it that much because I thought, why again to have a cool twist? Yeah, the audience loves twists, but the final fight is also a bit odd, like you said.
Yeah,
it's all right, like to have CGI blood.
Yeah,
but I thought it was an odd choice not to use music. I'm always like saying, why do the directors use that much music? But in this case, the director did not use music and just had these like artificial fighting sounds. And they sounded so silly. It was like,
I didn't mind it that much, but I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Overall, like I said, I really enjoyed this dark, moody, but also dark, humored gangster story. And I really don't have anything else to add. And
I can tell you my German part, but I just wanted to say like, I still kind of like this movie because it had this Tamil flavor, and it still stands out because of this atmosphere and like the very raw nature that it also was like bold enough to do. Yeah.
It also goes in that category of 2010s low budget, more experimental, new Tamil cinema wave, I think, where young filmmakers got the chance with digital cameras and stuff to make their own thing. And this is one of those films, and I can understand why it got a cult following, because even though it reminded us of a lot of other films, still the atmosphere, the long shots and everything, it was still it's still something original, even if you can clearly see the influences and what inspired it. So what would you say in German about Aaranya Kaandam?
Ich kann mir vorstellen, dass Aaranya Kaandam bemerkenswert frisch war, als er in die Kinos kam. Und die Rohheit, der Realismus und die absurd bedrohlichen Charaktere dieser Welt haben auch mich mitgerissen. Aber die Handlungsstränge wirken mitunter unausgegoren und am Ende passen für mich ein paar Dinge einfach nicht so richtig zum Stil des Films.
Verstehe. Aaranya Kaandam ist ein echt atmosphärischer Gangsterfilm, der einen richtig in seine Welt saugt und mit toller Kameraarbeit, Musik und Charakteren punktet. In der zweiten Hälfte fehlt mir vielleicht etwas emotionale Wucht, aber insgesamt wirklich sehenswert. I give Aaranya Kaandam 7 out of 10. It's more like 7.3, but I don't do that.
For me, it's 6 out of 10. It's more like 6.2, but I don't do that either. 6.2. Jimmy.
Yeah.
So this is a little bit longer trivia.
All right.
But it's so much fun.
Okay.
Did you know that cockfighting has been illegal in India since 1960?
Mm-hmm.
In January of 2018, though, the Supreme Court allowed the sport to be held in a traditional way, without the use of knives and blades and without gambling or betting. That sucks, of course, but you want to hear some fun stuff?
Mm-hmm.
In 2010, in West Bengal, a man was killed by his rooster, which pierced his neck with a blade attached to its leg.
Okay.
In 2019, in Andhra Pradesh, a spectator succumbed to the injuries inflicted by a rooster. It reportedly sunk the blade, tied to its leg, into his abdomen during a cockfight. In 2021, in Telangana state, the owner of a rooster, fitted with a blade, was killed after it impaled him in the groin as he attempted to recapture it after an escape attempt.
I have to say, really fitting trivia, not just because of the cockfighting, but also because of this dark, violent nature of it. Really fitting Buddymeister. I have to say, applause. Nicely done.
Thanks.
Yeah, please let us know in the comments below what you think about Aaranya Kaandam. And you can find us on Patreon, simply at The Jimmy Cage. And if you enjoyed this episode, please give us a thumbs up, share, subscribe, whatever you like.
And make sure you hit that bell for all we have to tell.